Good morning. It's Vijay here. Welcome to the budget special, February 1st, 2025. I am not a SEBI registered advisor, so whatever my thoughts here are my original thoughts. I'm not recommending anything to buy or sell. Today is one of those really, really crucial days. We always talk of this budget being a game changer, but I think if there is any game changer in the last 30 years, this is one of those top five game changers. Before we go on to the other game changing budgets, just quickly let's try to find out what kind of budget should expect. It will derive its thing from the economic survey. A lot of people don't read economic survey. Generally, economic survey gives the thinking of the government, but whether the budget actually acts on it is a different matter. But I think this time the economic survey is one of the best I've read. The reason being that the chief economic advisor has clearly spelled out what the problems are in the budget. See, being in the stock market, we are looking at how stock prices behave. But I think this is one of those times when the economy has to be turned around, and if economy has to be turned around, then we need to take some hard medicine, strong medicine, and that will finally come into help the stock market too. So what he says is you want to wipe out the trust deficit in the country is imperative, and government agencies have to set agenda in this regard. You will note, if especially if you're an entrepreneur, you will note the kind of terrorism, tax terrorism some people talk of, including bureaucratic problems. All of this is constraining India's growth. So therefore, this is the most important point in the agenda of the budget, which should set out a goal as to how we are going to have less government and more governance. Remember, Modi came by talking of less governance and more government, more governance and less government, and nothing seems to have happened in 11 years. So this is a time, a very crucial time in the history of India. I'm not exaggerating here, because if you do not set it right now, then India will become a basket case. So what he's also talking of, give entrepreneurs and households back their time and mental bandwidth. Even a normal taxpayer is confused with so many rules, regulations. An entrepreneur is confused. Somebody who wants to invest is confused. So people are just frustrated. Today we are having a frustrated populace. So he also talks of you have to be considered innocent until proven guilty, whereas the government agencies, you take SEBI, you take exchanges, you take RBI, you take CBI, ED, and other government agencies. They first think that you are guilty, and then we have to prove that we are innocent. If there is anything I'm looking forward to in this budget, is this: whether the government wants to change their focus. If they are going to change their focus, then I think we will get everything going. Obviously, the markets also will follow. So that is the core of the CEA's advice to the government. But in the report, he also talks of 7% growth is possible. Why 7%? If things are made ease of doing business, then even 8 also is possible. But he also cautions us that global factors, especially tariffs, will have an important role in our growth. We can still manage with tariffs. Even as we speak, today is the beginning of tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China, as per Trump. But we can still do better, provided we look inwards. So he talks of need to focus on both supply and demand, and he's talking of focus should be on renewable energy and on the private sector. Investment is poor, so something needs to be done there, and we need to do much better in our physical infrastructure. So whether this is going to be a tandav of Lord Shiva or a constructive phase of Lord Vishnu, we have to see, because the government, sorry to say, has been only incremental in all the budgets. They have not done anything which is what I would call a visionary kind of a budget. This is the time to have a vision. So either a tandav will be done. When I say tandav, we look at demonetization was a tandav, where a bold decision was taken, but in a manner which destroyed much part of India. So one is hoping that we'll not have a tandav, and we will look forward to positivity. So yesterday, Mr. Modi gave a hint when he said we pray to Goddess Lakshmi on Budget Eve, so that we'll focus on poor and the middle class. So there is some possibility. So Qs this morning, yesterday went up, markets went up for 4 days, 4 sessions. But you must remember that 4 weeks, 4 days of respite is nothing compared to 4 months of relentless selling and negativity on the market. As I said before, we are going into a budget with extreme negative sentiments, with no hopes. Actually, hopelessness is there in front of the budget. And these are the times when a spark can be ignited. It has happened in the past. I will explain what that is later. So anyway, you can read at leisure what these were. This is not important because today is a completely different day. Yesterday, Dow Jones panicked because Trump decided to have the tariffs coming in today. He had already mentioned that, but there was some feeling that it will happen from March 1st. But nevertheless, that's what happened. So that's again not important. One can always go back to that. Earnings came. City Union Bank did very well. ONGC was in line. LIC Housing Finance was in line. IndusInd Bank and Bandhan Bank were weak. But I feel IndusInd Bank has hit the bottom. Same thing with Bandhan Bank. But again, all this will come into focus based on government's focus on microfinance, which is, I think, they will touch upon in this budget. Global news, White House says Mexico tariff will come, and he's talking of tariff on other commodities. Now, just let's look at this. This is July 1991. Everything was in trouble. India was a basket case. We had only 2 weeks of forex reserves, and the market was, struggling. And then the first budget came, and then the market took off from some 1,500 levels to around 4,500 levels within about 8-9 months. This is the fastest, shortest period of time. So that was a crisis, major crisis of confidence, and one budget changed it. The second time the budget happened in 1997, when the government led by Deve Gowda was there. There were lots of pulls and pressures. Chidambaram had come with the 1996 after the elections budget, which was a hopeless budget. And when we went into the budget of 1997, there was complete, chaos. People didn't expect anything. People expected negativity. People thought the government will collapse. The economy was in deep trouble. But lo and behold, this was pre-budget, and post-budget it went up 22% because it was a path-breaking budget. Till date, people talk about that as a Nobel Prize-winning budget, as a budget which is to be enshrined when you look at compare any budgets. So that was, out of crisis. We went up immediately by 22%. The government fell 3 weeks later. But what happened in the budget and what proposals are still remaining? The other time was the 2004, the first budget of the UPA. And just before that, there was a crash. There was a crisis of confidence because the communists were supporting UPA, so people didn't expect anything from the budget. They expected lots of populism, lots of sops. But the budget again was revolutionary, where they eliminated long-term capital gains, for instance, and then it took off. So the pre-budget, I'm not mentioned what the percentage growth after that, but that was that numbers were not seen at all for a very, very long time. That was 2004. Then you have the budget here of 2016, when the global, bear market was there. India was having a bear market from 2015 March onwards till 2016 February. Everything looked very bad. There were the global markets were recovering, but it looked like India won't recover. But on the budget day also, budget day made a low, and there was a crisis, huge FII selling during that period. On the budget day, extraordinary selling by FIIs, and after budget, it just took off. Those numbers of 6,850 on the Nifty have not been on. The Sensex is a different number. I put Sensex charts because 1991, there was no Nifty. So that is what happened. And this is, as I said, this was in 2016. And the latest was 2021. Again, that was Nirmala Sitharaman's budget. And pre-budget, there was heavy selling. These are all weekly charts. So there was heavy selling, and there was again gloom and doom like what we are facing now. And then the budget came, and then the markets took off, and those budget lows have not been seen. So there was a 6,000 point rise. I'm putting this because many of the recent entrants would have seen this but might have forgotten. So now we come to the final stage where you see the gloom and doom is maximum. See, in 1991, there was no FIIs, there was no F&O. Gloom and doom was, you couldn't quantify it. You could only say sentiment was very poor. In 1997, there were FIIs, but they had just come in. There was no F&O. Again, one retail investors and local mutual funds ruled the roost. In 2004, there were FIIs, there was F&O, and you could see positioning all against the market going up. In 2016, again, positioning was very much negative, and FIIs were continuously selling. In 2004, the selling was not so much by FIIs. In 2016, it was there. 2021, everybody, including the retail, joined in the bandwagon to short sell the market. Today, in 2025, I'm seeing all around continuously, talk of only negativity. Now, this is the best time for the market, for the budget to come and chase away the negativity. So here, if you look at it, yesterday, the Prime Minister talked of Goddess Lakshmi. So you should know who is the consort of Goddess Lakshmi, Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is a creator. Sorry, not a creator. He is Brahma is the creator. Vishnu is the preserver. And if you want to preserve India's economic strength, then it has to go. Lakshmi has to tie in with. Let's say as a collaboration between Lakshmi and Vishnu, and you should keep Shiva far away. We had one Shiva dance in 2016. We don't want to repeat it anymore. So I'm hoping that the Garuda here, I would say, is the Indian populace, or in case you may take a stock market, you may talk of investors. So they're all expecting things to get only better. So I am going cautiously bullish. I'm not trading in today. Generally, I don't trade on budget days. I would like to watch and observe. And this should be a day which will be remembered for a very, very long time. Both, if it is positive, it will be really positive. If it's negative, it will be really, very negative is what I feel. It will be an either or kind of budget. So I'll be very cautiously, I'll be very hopefully looking at it. Will not do anything. So whatever you do today, hope it is successful. Thank you for joining me.